Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. It is the 3rd of May, Wednesday afternoon. Today we went out and I got a nose full of pollen and I have the sniffles. Hopefully that will wash away in the next few weeks. Anyway, I know this is Judy, baby Judy, the mother of Nathan. But before we talk about this, today Mike Cheney from Q Image actually commented on my video where I use Q Image to do some slight tweaks on some images by Christine Bilby Photography. And he said he loved it, that he watches all my videos, which I am kind of amazed. And that he had a brand new video covering most of the cropping functionality of Q Image and image positioning, especially when you're using roll type material. So to have a look at it, the link is located in the comment by Mike Cheney, about maybe 3 or 4 or 5 comments below the last video that I just did. Okay, the one about tweaking your images before printing them on Q Image. So have a look at that. Very nice. Also, please hit the show more so that you can see my description of the video. Often people ignore that. They just immediately click on the video. There I have information about the video and also links, especially links to my ordering site for PGI 29 carts. So I often will get a request for the link to my ordering page and it's right there if you just take a quick look at it. So try to do that. Okay. Anyway, so let's begin. I show you this print. This is a silver print on semi-matte type paper. This is probably, let's see, when was I there? This is Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I was there after I came back from Korea, which was probably 1972. So I would say maybe around October 1972. And this was Judy. This is Nathan's mom. She's under a year old. She would give mom pure hell during the day. And Sergeant Rodriguez would come home from the photo lab and she would be all smiles and all sweetness and sometimes be all teary-eyed and red-faced from crying all day long. She wanted her daddy, big daddy's girl, and she still is. Anyway, so I went ahead and tried to scan this on my Epson V500 photo, and I could not get it completely covered, of course, because it's only slightly bigger than letter size paper. So what do? Well, I set it from the top edge as far down as I can scan, and I just kind of center the size, and I did get a pretty good scan, which I then just simply edited in Photoshop a little bit. I used the dust removal and scratch removal filter in the scan software, so that took care of most of the little flaws. But there's a lot of fading on the silver areas, the dark silver areas, and I'm getting a silvery type effect, which is not good. I figured I had to restore this now before it gets any worse. And the problem is, I don't know where the negative is. I've lost it. But I took the image, printed it on Red River San Gabriel 1.0 on my Pro 1, and here is the restoration. I'm sure you can see the difference. I was able to get that film grain reproduced, which is awesome. Of course, being that it's a 35 millimeter, very crunchy negative, it's not as crisp as a 24 megapixel image of today's would be, but nevertheless, it is saved now, and now I have this image uploaded to the cloud for safe storage, and I restore my shot of Judy. And so that is a great thing to do. Get into the habit of scanning some of those irreplaceable pictures that you may have. And there you go. That is it. It came out very nice. I'm a very happy father now that I was able to restore that. All right, I found this image of a super duper sunset, and what struck me is the ability of Q image to, by clicking on the exposure button and setting that white and dark point, I was able to see or preserve the foreground. The ocean is just a couple of shades brighter. The little island in the middle, offshore there, and the super, super bright, almost pure white sunset. And look at the graduation, the tonal graduations, the transitions, I should say. Absolutely no banding. There's no evidence of any banding whatsoever. This is where it gets a little dangerous with some printers, okay, and especially on a low bit image, low bit rate, I should say. So that is it for this. I'm very satisfied with it. The colors look exactly as they do in the monitor. So again, I printed it and walked away. I used the manual feed and anti-abrasion choice on the driver. So you have to then accept that. Every time you print, you have to accept the anti-abrasion choice and then proceed to print, because it wants you to click a proceed to print button so that it can begin to feed the paper from the manual feeder and align it for you and do all of the gyrations that it's going to do. I made a mistake and I actually programmed the wrong size for the paper. I said it was 13 by 17 and really it was 12 by 17, so of course I rejected it. It actually measured the width and said, no, this does not match what you entered. So very intelligent printer. Have a look at this. A crane taking off in the air, and look at that sky. This is not my image. This was uploaded to the gallery of DP Review, and as you can see, it is fantastic. The gloomiest of days, and yet it's got drama. I mean, it's amazing. This Red River San Gabriel 1.0, what a pity that is not available anymore. But let me tell you, just the other day, I found not only, I'll tell you about the San Gabriel, but I found a roll of 17-inch by 100-foot of Kodak Enhanced Matte for $39, free shipping. It's coming day after tomorrow. San Gabriel, 24-inch wide by 50 feet. You can then cut that to 17 by 24 sheets, one after the other. And it will be in the opposite direction, so it will have that, remember I showed you that flex, it will have that flex that would help it stay flat inside the Pro 1. And by the way, the Pro 1 loves this paper. The P800 does not. So I found a perfect marriage between this paper and this printer, the Pro 1. So I will no longer use the San Gabriel on anything else. And that's what you should do. Find the paper that best gets along with that particular printer that you have. And you too will be happy to have a happy marriage between paper and printer. Now, have a look at this. Isn't that amazing? Gorgeous sky. What a beach. Man, deserted, gorgeous. You don't need people for this. It's just the landscape by itself. Is what you are after. Every little pebble is sharp as a tack. I can see grains of sand. The water is beautiful. This is, of course, after the tide went out. The sky is gorgeous. Little hints of blue here and there. What can I say? And the Pro 1 renders this beautifully. This is a print, I mean, worth selling to anyone. All I need is to sign it. Yeah. And the Pro 1000 is supposed to be better. All right, long time ago I did a lot of people photography and young ladies as well. This is the daughter of one of our teacher friends, and she's one of these super athletes. That's all she ever does. You can see how thin she is. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that with a 50mm prime lens at about 1.8 wide open from far enough distance, because if you're using a crop sensor camera, it actually acts like maybe an 85mm lens. So stand back far enough, wide open, nice background, out of focus, beautiful focus right here. This is sharp as a tack. all that little scum and stuff in that water. I told her, get out of that water before you get an infection, girl. But anyway, because it's wide open, it allows you to have that nice soft look to the skin. And so that is one hint to do that. Don't close down your lens too much when you're shooting shots of people, especially young girls like that, or beautiful girls like that. Any time of fashion or working with models, use a wider aperture. It works a little bit better. All right, so here I have two sets that are about to get prepped. They're already been drained of all of their ink, and I have filled my little bottles back here, which I then use to fill Pro 1 carts. I have a set of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 10 carts over there that are slowly being filled with ink that I harvest from all of these. So eventually I'm going to run out of this. If my source dries up, that'll be it. But so far so good. I'm waiting for the provider to actually drive to the place to pick up probably hundreds of cartridges. And because this is opposite to where he works, it's going to take a while. But it will come through. It will come through. Now, Precision Colors called me the other night, and we talked for a couple of hours like we always do. And we discussed the Pro 1000 from Canon. This thing is a beast, a monster. It is a killer printer. It has everything you want in a printer. The only fault, of course, is that length limitation. But it has everything, including built-in ability to calibrate for other than Canon type papers. So it can do the paper ink configuration so that you have the perfect application. But that's what the paper choice does. Of course, it ties it up to an ICC profile also, but the paper choice takes care of your plating gap, the thickness of the paper, the ink density application, depending on its surface, okay? And so by optimizing a third-party paper through this system, you can create a preset that is then saved to your driver as a paper choice. Yes, so you will have the ability to just recall that particular paper by name, which has been calibrated to your printer by your printer. Oh my God, that is awesome. Now, one of the negative aspects of the Pro 1000 is that when you get it and you decide to set it up on that table, that's where it's going to stay. Don't move it. It's got these level sensors that will cause problems with your ink, okay? So there's also receptacles of ink that act as dampers, but not on the printhead. They're actually downstream from where the cartridges plug into the ink lines. And so initial charge uses a lot of ink to charge your system. If you ever want to move it and you're ever going to tilt it within a certain, exceeding a certain angle, I should say, you have to drain those inks, and it will use about 3 to 4 maintenance cartridges. Imagine that. So again, it is one hell of a printer, but you better, it's a marriage for life. You better be able to commit to that printer and set it up where you're not going to be moving it around. If you ever have to move it, you need a good 2 guys to carefully and level move it from one point to the other. You do not want to put it on a hand cart. No, 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 no. Keith Cooper had I think it was the Pro, one of the higher, 2000 or higher, I don't know what it was, the Canon. And it came in already loaded, already initiated, and the people who brought it, put it on a hand cart. There was ink everywhere. So, yeah, this is the same way with the Pro 1000. So don't do that. Now, you can get it in the U.S. probably as low as about $900 something and as high as maybe $1,290 something. Okay, so it's not a cheap printer to get, but again, like I said, this is a marriage for life, and you're going to buy one hell of a printer. And so What we are working on, of course, is refilling methods. There's going to be 3 major refilling methods. I already showed you once. It was done by vacuum. Okay. We're going to come up with an even easier method. Okay. I won't disclose what that is until we have actually tried it out and make sure that it works. The actual manual for it is at least 250 pages. So that's a lot of information that I have to read through and learn and study before I make my commitment. But that's going to happen probably in a couple of months. By the way, in about a month and a half, exactly on the 18th of June, my wife and I and Mom and Dad Mooney are taking Nathan to Disney World. And at the same time, he's going to get a chance to visit my mom, his great grandma, who lives in a rest home at this moment. So he cannot wait. He doesn't know about it yet. He knows he's going to visit great grandma someday, but he doesn't know how soon that's going to be. And so what we are going to do, even though he's a preschooler, he has been practicing reading sentences. We write sentences for him, and we have him sound them out and read them, and he actually can do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to prepare a card that'll say something to the effect as, I am going to Disney World, this, blah, 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 something like that. Judy's going to come up with the actual text, and he's going to be videotaped when he reads it, and hopefully will capture the reaction to when he comprehends what is actually reading and what it actually means. It should be explosive at the very least. All right, that's great. Again, don't forget to click that little button so you can see more, see my description of the video. And that way you will not miss out on any links that I may post, and also the regular links to our support pages for Patreon and also my ordering site for these. And I've been getting a lot of orders for the special refilling tips for the Epson type cartridges, especially the modified ones, T58s and larger. All right, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Every day subscribership goes up. That's awesome. I've been getting a lot of help for certain individual, and you know who you are. So thank you. Thank you. And so until the next time, happy printing, everybody. Bye-bye.